Professor Hridaya Ratna Bajracharya, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gaurav. Thank you, Parthivendra ji, for inviting me. He is known to me earlier also. We have worked together. He was in Bhairahawa campus. I think he is still with Bhairahawa campus, campus. So thank you for this wonderful experience of being with International Toastmasters Club of Bhairahawa. The Toastmaster, toast, it is a very savory word. So delighted, and I'm really enjoying it too. Let me come to my topic with due addresses to all the Toastmaster members and the guests. This Buddhist philosophy and education in the present context is very important as we realize the situation of this coronavirus. Coronavirus affected all over the world, whether a person is in developed country, developing country. See, the science and technology development, it has brought us to this level of our present scenario. We are meeting here in this online platform. It is unimaginable even 30 years ago. It's unimaginable. But it is reality now in Nepal also. And we are using this. Actually, development of science and technology has faded the boundary between what is imagination and what is real. So this is the level of development. We have also seen level of development in the case of other aspect. Scientists are able to land satellite on a piece of material and retrieve it back. We are not talking about moon. It has been there, the science and technology development capacity of going to moon and coming back. It has become quite kind of a very proven feature for many countries, even like China and India also. But the level of so even difficult to imagine whether a phenomena is only at the level of imagination or it is actual. Nonetheless, when coronavirus, when COVID-19 attacked, all these technological scientific development is yet to prove that we can overcome it. And the development, whether in terms of communication, whether in terms of transportation, whether in terms of any other our facilities, logistics, and you name it, you call it, whatever development we are experiencing in the world. We have come at a junction to ask a deep question. Where are we really heading to? Because COVID-19 is a natural phenomenon. It has been there on Earth, in nature, somewhere. But somehow this coronavirus has come to a crossroad between our human development and this virus existence. These things had happened earlier also. Even in Buddha's time, there was a huge pandemic in Vaishali, and Buddha was summoned to help overcome the pandemic, the difficulties, the issues in Vaishali. Was helped. But then, of course, I mean, that kind of pandemic has come in our world time and again. So a big question is, what is our existence in relation to the other natural phenomena, naturally existing other animals, plants, viruses, and everything? There is no other way than to live in a better way, in a harmonious way, and in a meaningful way. Because even if the scientists discover new vaccine, new medicine for this COVID-19, sure, we will be getting more of this. Sorry. Yeah, we will be confronting this kind of viruses in future also. Was I muted earlier? Were you able to hear me earlier?
Yeah, just for a second you are muted. It's okay, sir, now. Just for a second, no worries.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we remember Buddha at this juncture because Buddha stands for living in harmony. The middle path, as mentioned earlier by Vishal Joshiji, this is a middle path. Middle path is so important. Middle path is a very strong philosophy in Buddha's teaching. Not going extreme, but being mindful and being in peace wherever you are with all that surrounds you. That is one very important philosophy of Buddha. Having said that, nonetheless, we come to world and we have to live in world. And Buddha's another philosophy, very important, very strong philosophy is that the world is there and how you experience the world and how you feel the world, it depends on your inner perception, your inner thinking, your inner imagination, your inner energy. Dhammapad is one of the many literature that captures Buddha's teachings. And the very first stanza says, Mano Puvangama Dhamma, Mano Settha Manomaya, Manasa Che Paduttena, Asativa Korotiva, Tato Dukkanamonati, Sakamba, Bhatupuram. If anybody starts with negative perception, with negative thinking, then the painful things, the sorrow will come automatically, like the wheel behind the cart, oxen cart. And the second stanza said, Mono Puvangama Dhamma, Mono Settha Manomaya, Manasa Che Pasanyena, Vasativa Korotiva, Tapona Sukhamanviti, Chaya Anupayani. So anybody who starts opening to the world with good feeling, good perception, and good humor, happiness will follow like the shadow of an object in front of light. Buddha is considered as enlightening person. So that's why Buddha we remember. Now, when we say Buddha, then three things are very important. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Ratnatrayaya. Namo Ratnatrayaya means the three jewels. It is spelled in different way by different sects. You might have heard about Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. It is same as I mentioned. Now, when we say Buddha, Buddha was not born. Let us be very clear. Buddha was not born. Buddha became. Buddha was born as Siddhartha, but Siddhartha became Buddha. Actually, this Lumbini area is very much well known, not only for Sakyamuni Buddha, who was born about 2600 years ago. There were other Buddhas also, Krakuchanda Buddha and Kanakmuni Buddha, who were born in this greater Lumbini area adjoining to this Bhairava. Of course, Bhairava is part of this greater Lumbini. Yeah. In Niglihava and in Gotihava, there are Ashokan pillars which indicate that Kanakmuni Buddha was born here, Prakuchanda Buddha was born here, as in the case of Lumbini, where Sakyamuni Buddha was born. So Buddhas, three Buddhas, existence of three Buddhas are here in this, from this area. And why we call them Buddha? Because Buddhas are, they are the embodiment of knowledge. They acquired knowledge. But it is not only knowledge, knowledge with wisdom, vivek. Vivek is very important. Buddhi and vivek is very important too, not only jnana. And not only buddhi and vivek, but also compassion. Compassion means always thinking of goodness to all. Goodness to human being, goodness to animals, goodness to plants, goodness to all, even all sentient beings, whether we can see it or not see it, because they are all part of our existence. Then the second, dharma. Dharma is commitment to follow Buddha ethics. Buddha ethics means the ethics that you develop based on your knowledge, wisdom, and compassion. And that is dharma. Dharma is your self-made responsibility. It is a kind of duty which you inbuilt from inside. And the third is sangha. Sangha means we have to live together. We have to, when we live together, if we develop virtuous society that follow dharma, then of course we can all live in a very harmonious way. And therefore, this will lead us to harmonious, peaceful living. So this is what Buddha taught us. And these are the basic foundation of Buddha's philosophy. And because of this Buddha's philosophy, world at one time, almost 75% of Asia followed Buddhism. 75% of Asia followed in whole of the Indian peninsula, Bharat we call, Bharatvarsha we call. That includes Afghanistan, Nepal, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, all these areas. They were Buddhist at one time, following Buddha's culture and Buddha's teachings. Buddha's teachings, after some time, it simply vanished, not because the teachings were not complete or not helpful, but because they came across the forces, very destructive forces, war, conquerors. Because of these kind of wars and the destruction, Buddhism vanished. However, the teachings of Buddha, they were so relevant, and they are so complete, and they are so human. Anytime we think about good living, meaningful living, and the harmony and the peace, then of course Buddha's teachings, Buddha's philosophy prevails all the time. Buddha always taught us not to believe on what is being said, not to believe on what is being written even, but to find yourself the validity of an idea, a concept, and if you feel it is good for you, then of course you can take it. So this is a very rational approach. This is a very scientific approach. And therefore, this is still valid in today's world, in today's education. Now, since time is limited, I'm not getting the time warning, but nonetheless, I will try to conclude now. One aspect, the other very foundational aspect of Buddha's teaching is that all living beings, they fear death, they fear wrath, they fear vengeance, they fear violence. And all living beings, they want to live peacefully, they want to live happily, they want to live freely, and they want to fulfill their lives' wish and enjoyment. So treat other living being as you would expect or as you would like to be treated. That is another basic aspect of Buddha's teachings. Then, in order to be really able to bring all these teachings into our life, 4 things are very important. And this is called Chatu Brahma Vihara. 4 noble truths of living in peace and harmony. The first is that you always need to have maitri, or friendship or cordiality. Always have your perception oriented as a friendship and cordiality at the center. Then the second is compassion. Always feel goodwill towards all. Always be compassionate. And then the third is mudita, cheerfulness. Be yourself happy. Unless you are happy, you cannot bring other. You cannot contribute to happiness of others. And then the last one is upeksha, equanimity. Let it go. Yeah, let it go. If you cling to whatever is making you difficult, then that is going to really increase the pain and the sorrow. And the last 3 things are very important. This is the method of Buddha, and that is, first is Shila, foundational parameter for peace and harmonious life. Pancha Shila, you might have heard. I don't want to elaborate on that. And then the second is right focus. Always have your focus and concentration of mind in a right way. And then the third is, then of course, based on this foundation and the concentration of mind, you practice your knowledge with wisdom and compassion, and that is pragya. Shila, Samadhi, Pragya. Bhavata Sabba Mangalam. So these 3 last method, Shila, Samadhi, and Pragya, these should be the foundation for education and the method of education in today's world also, so that we'll be able to find a